That sound means that we are back. Midway Radio is back because ever since December was the last time we were here, the world has lost its way. So we are back. To bring it back, I'm Carlos Gomez. So there.
Are you back?
So let's see. We got B-Boy B is in the house.
I had my mute on. We're off mute now.
And we're off to a roaring start.
For the record,
you were going alphabetical.
No, I go by the little squares that are at the bottom of my screen. And B is pretty close to the beginning either way. So, yeah. So that's B-Boy B, y'all.
Always.
Yeah. Oh, Sean Doe is here.
Yeah, what up, everybody?
What's up, brother? DJ Risky Business.
That's me.
Okay. We're gonna need you guys to give a little something because I don't know if you guys are on mute. I don't know if you guys are like signing. I don't know.
Hey, yo, that's me. I'm back.
Boop, boop, boo. Oh, Ryan Brockmeyer. Hello.
Hello. Hello to all of you fine gentlemen and to anybody who is watching us right now.
Yeah, and we're expecting a live chat, so feel free to interact with the panel. So what we wanted to do is, if you haven't noticed, we don't have a hip-hop personality with us per se, even though Risky fills that cup quite graciously. He's 10 pounds of hip-hop in a five-pound bag.
These guys, B-Boy B and Sean Doe, do that.
I know, but they don't combine. They don't talk nearly as much as you do.
Oh, no, I just talk.
And I say that with all the love and respect I can muster.
That's right. Yeah.
So welcome, everyone. As always, I think what we're going to do is go ahead and get a little bit of an update from Senior Director.
So, yeah, as a lot of people know that we haven't been. Let's stop that technical difficulty.
Deja vu.
Deja vu. No, so it's been a while since we've been up here. It's been a while actually since we've been doing a lot of regular updates like we normally do, and part of that is because we went into kind of behind the scenes mode for the past like 5 months. So we're back. Midway Radio is going to be back to being a regular, should be weekly thing. We got some outstanding guests coming up in the next few weeks. But yeah, this episode is to kind of re-engage with our audience and with our friends and everything to kind of provide some updates as to where we're at on the film, what we've been doing, and that kind of fun stuff. So yeah. So I guess if I'm supposed to continue updating. So yeah, we've done one interview this year. And that was with Jay Ivey, who most people should know. And we are still doing interviews. We still got a lot of interviews to go. If you haven't been interviewed yet, again, thanks for being patient. But we have been working on a brand new sizzle reel that we need to get in front of some people who are looking to help us finally finish this thing from a financial standpoint and from other things that we need. Working on the first trailer, which will hopefully be coming soon, end of summer. and yeah, and still trying to do what we can to raise funds. You know, one thing that I do want to stress with everybody, and it seems we can't quite say it enough, is that, you know, documentary films by themselves are just they're a 3 to 5 year project on average. You know, you can get some done a little bit sooner than that. Some you can get done, or some take a little bit longer, but 3 to 5 years is about the average time from conception of the idea to release. And, you know, we just started year 4. So we're right in the middle of all that kind of stuff. And I say that just because we've got a lot of people out there who have been wondering what, you know, hey, you interviewed me, you know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and, you know, where is this at? What's happening? And, you know, it's like, we're still gathering stuff. We're still gathering archives. We're still doing interviews. There's a lot of things to make this project come to life. Would you fellas agree with that?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other stuff that we're doing that's on the side too. There's, you know, there's a lot of upkeep on the website. There's a lot of stuff that we've been trying to do to spread the word about the project, as well as, I know these guys go to Colombia and they're constantly cataloging all the stuff that we have for that part of the project as well. So it's not like it's just the documentary. We have a lot of other arms to the octopus, if you will.
Exactly. So there's a lot of things, and it's a small team, and, you know, we do what we can. And all of us, you know, this is still, while it's a good chunk of our lives, it's not the only part of our lives too. We also had to pay the bills and keep things going. And right now, you know, Midway does not pay our bills, for those who think otherwise.
Yeah, the biggest thing I think we want people to know is that you may not have seen a presence socially in the social media world as much, but I can assure you that we have been working, we've been meeting, we've been keeping the train rolling. We just haven't had anything to post. Plus we had, you know, we take a break. In the 4 years we've done this, we take a break around the holidays unless something big comes up. And then as some people may or may not know, I had an incident where I had my van stolen, and we lost some gear, and we did a fundraiser, and the community came through and really helped us get back our gear. So we had a process of having to get back our gear. We kind of just had to, we just took a breather for a minute, and that wasn't even that long, because by February we were back in organizing, back at the Center for Black Music Research, as they said. And yeah, the train's moving. It's, I assure you. And if we told you we were going to interview you, we definitely will. It's a process. So
yeah, not only are we going to fulfill those interviews, you know, also too, it seems to be, I've seen a few posts on this on social media over the past few months about the vignettes that we put up, and I'll be the first to admit that we are drastically behind in cutting those and getting those to put up in the quality that we want. That being said, that is not the project. And there seems to be a little bit of misconception out there that the project is putting up these snippets on YouTube. It is not.
No, those are just to let you guys know that it's, you know, let people know that it's still moving forward. And we are going to get the vignettes back up. We just had some things change for us that we weren't able to do it in the time that we wanted to. So
yeah, we've had to shuffle some team members. We've had, yeah, there's a lot of issues that come up. So,
I mean, quite frankly, we can just be really transparent. We've had some crew turnover because, unfortunately, this is and will be and has to be something people have to be committed to, with no hope of possibly making any money. We don't know what's going to happen. And, you know, it's hard. And I understand if when people can't continue to do things, or maybe have a disagreement on how things are going to be done. So, I mean, that's basically it. I mean, no love lost with anything. It just sometimes things don't necessarily work out, or people can't continue to do things. So on a documentary project, it has to be an all-in scenario. It has to be a love project, and that's the end of the day. It's the only thing that really It's the only thing you need to know is it's got to be a love project. It's that or nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was looking.
Go ahead, Ryan. You can say it. It's well said, and you can applaud. Wow.
I think the big thing to remember is if you guys want to know what it looks like to make a documentary with zero money, this is what it looks like. Either you have time, you have a lot of time and a little bit of money, or you have a lot of money with a little bit of time. We're the first part. And we are doing this because we love Chicago and Chicago hip hop.
And the one thing I can say about us is we try to be absolutely as transparent as anything. And we're not out here. I mean, anybody that knows the music business, entertainment business. And I say that because I like to stress that the Chicago hip hop documentary isn't about the music business. It's about the culture.
Right.
But when you know people in the music business, people have a tendency to kind of like fake it till you make it or act like everything's big and going great and everything like that. Everything's still going great. We're just not going to over here and say, oh, we have a ton of money to do this and that and that. No, we're scraping everything together, and we're making it happen. We're not going to be out here driving rented Benzes and fake jewelry in the video. Nope.
With that being said, if you look at what we've done, I mean, with no budget, with no money, like if you look at what we've done, I mean, I'm pretty sure, like if you look at it, you can be proud of what we've done so far. Because I definitely am. So, without a doubt, like we still work on it weekly. Even though you might not see us, doing interviews or like on Instagram and stuff like that, we're still archiving. We're still talking about, what we need to do next. We're still trying to think up ways to try to get funds, because we're just doing this is straight out of our pockets. So,
yeah. And it's happening. Like it's the one thing we can promise, no matter what happens or how anything transpires or whatever happens with people, this is coming out.
Yeah.
That is over my goddamn dead body that this would not come out.
Well, I mean, I think we all feel the same way, and we also feel the way that this isn't a Facebook video. This isn't a YouTube video. This is a legit film project, and there is a lot of legalities and logistics and stuff like that to cover. Also
we're trying to still get everybody that we want to get, and we could have frankly stopped a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and put something out and people would have been like, oh my God, this is amazing. But we don't want to sell ourselves short or cut corners, and we want to make sure everything. That's why we've expanded the team and brought in people that we feel are experts in a field that can even enhance it past what we thought we could do.
Yeah, exactly. And frankly, there's a lot of interviews, big and small, that we need to get. And some of the bigger ones are taking longer than what we originally anticipated. And nobody has told us no. It's just scheduling and logistics, trying to find time with people who are very, very busy in the industry, to take the time that we need them to talk about this important topic. So it's, there's a few things that are out of our control. There's some things that are in our control. So, we just kind of have to roll with the punches and do it, do the best that we can with what we can.
And going back to the fact that we all are doing it, on our own time, a lot of us, actually most of us, have not just this project, but a handful of other projects that we normally do for the community, in the community anyway. So I think, DJs go out and they still doing their thing and they still have their names out. I still, constantly do all those summer events that we do, in Logan Square. And all of those things have to be juggled all at the same time,
Absolutely.
With the project and everything else that goes on, and work, and your life as well. So You know, it all is a balancing act.
Would you guys say that our efforts are very much exactly like Risky's van that was stolen? Like, it might not be pretty, but goddamn it, we work hard.
Yes,
that's fair. It was a workhorse. Ugly as sin, but it was a workhorse. She was my baby.
Yeah, I felt like when that happened, I felt like they stole our work van. Like, I mean, that's exactly what it was. It was our work van. So, you know,
work van with work tools,
work stuff. Yeah.
They stole the soul.
Was our mascot.
Yeah, what was really cool though is the people coming together so fast and really helping us out.
Yeah, I agree. You know, we did some social media posts, and I thanked everybody, and I thanked a lot of people. I think everybody individually as well, but obviously it can't be understated the help that everybody came together to help us get that stuff and kind of get back going quicker than what we had anticipated. So.
Good looking out, community.
But we're revamping our social media. We've got a lot of awesome updates to the website and stuff like that coming up. So we got a lot of, like Risky said earlier, there's been a lot of stuff that's been worked on over the past few months, and people are going to see that stuff sooner than later. So yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, we did. We've done the one interview, the Jay Ivy interview, which was really good.
It was very good.
Yeah, and that just kind of is showing you what we're trying to do. Again, it kind of like hammers home what we're doing. This is a cultural documentation, not just music. Although Jay Ivy's in music, he's a poet, and a part of the hip hop scene for many years, and represents a lot of different aspects of Chicago hip hop culture. And he's had a lot of like major commercial success, continues to. And it was really cool that he took the time to sit with us and, get to tell his Midway story. I mean, ultimately too, like, you see the vignettes, but like Midway is a kind of culmination of everybody's version of their Midway story. And when I say the Midway story of, it's Midway represents Chicago hip hop, and we came up with the name Midway. Sean came up with that name. If we've talked about it before, and I was really proud of him for coming up with that name. I mean, it's very simple, but it really nails it, and it really, and there's so many obvious reasons why that name makes sense. Obviously, Midway Airport, all those different things that go in effect. But like, you think of the song from No ID and Doug Infinite, where where he says, Chi-Town, where we don't fight over coast because the one that's in the middle is the one that sees the most. And I feel Midway is that. It kind of encompasses the really lets people know, and people are really going to know outside of Chicago. Midway is going to be about Chicago and Chicago hip hop. Again, we're really kind of touching on the culture as a whole.
Well said, sir. Well said. Yeah, no, that's true. I think it's I can't really add to that. That's pretty much right on. And I
mean, that's what it is for me. And I think I can speak for all of us. I think I kind of know what we're all feeling with it for the most part. In general, everybody has their own little things in it.
Mm-hmm.
You normally do.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think is the and I know it might be more than one, but what's the one thing that you guys have learned from this process up to now? We've been doing this for 4 years, like Ryan that said.
Documentaries are hard as fuck.
Yeah, yeah. Every day something's going on in Chicago that changes, well, not changes, but adds on to what we need to do. Like, I mean, if you think about when we haven't really slowed down, but we kind of switched gears. And when we switch gears from the interviews, like, we still have to do these interviews that we've already asked for people to come in on, and we still have to do those. But every day something is happening in Chicago hip hop that's like, all right, we got to interview this guy to figure out what was going on with this. Or
yeah, we uncover a lot of stuff. Like, we turn over rocks and then realize, okay, this is really important too, and it leads to another rock eventually. And we're getting there. We're starting to fill in all the gaps, I think, where there's going to be no more rocks to unturn.
Yeah, I would say if two things that I've learned. One is that I've learned patience, or a lot. To have a lot better patience.
You're such a better person now. You were such a dick before we started this.
Well,
you're such a better person now.
That's what happens.
That's awesome.
Well, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things that have to happen for a project like this to come together, and not everything is in your control. And I think to kind of add on to that, another thing is that you can't do a project like this with, I mean, there's a reason that there's 1,000 people that work on a, major motion picture. There's a reason that there's a lot of people that work on, on documentaries, because there's so many things to do. So the fact that we've gotten as much done as we have with no budget and about the smallest team ever to do a project of this size is pretty, I will still say, is very remarkable.
Oh, we get complimented too, and I'm not going to pat myself on the back, but I'm going to say this. We get complicated when we run into real, like, industry heavyweights, and we have run into a few of these people that have taken notice of our film, either taken notice on their own, or it's been brought to their attention. They are all legitimately floored at what we pulled off on our own.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, this thing is something that is absolutely coming out. We may unfortunately have to push the finish line back a little bit, but I think I can probably speak for all of us when I say we'd rather take a little bit more time to make sure that it's right and the best quality that we can, as opposed to rushing something out because we put some sort of false deadline on something.
Yeah.
But to be said,
we're not going to take forever either.
I don't want to work on this project for 10 years either. We want this to be done and out there as soon as possible, just like the rest of you. So,
yeah, I think what I've learned, just being involved in like listening to people and listening to their stories, is that I don't know. I've been involved in hip hop for a long time, and there's so much that I don't know, and I'm always learning, new stories, new people, around Chicago, and just like, wow, I was around that time and I didn't know that. And it's great to hear these stories because, there's a lot of gold out there that you have to dig for. And I think that's what we do good is we dig for these things and find them. We're trying to tell those stories.
I want to add to what you're saying. So I consider you one of Chicago's top historians, along with one of our other teammates who's not here with us tonight, but Kevin Beecham. And I consider myself a relatively pretty solid historian. I'm a I've studied, the culture because I've been a fan. Even though I'm a part of it, I feel like I'm always going to be such a super fan of it. And then I'm lucky enough to make friends of everyone and you guys and stuff. But like, I will say that, don't you feel like as much as I thought I knew, I realized I didn't know anything. And then like even Kevin, who I was like, you and Kevin were both like, what's funny, when we find things that you guys don't know, I'm like,
yeah,
this is why this film exists, is going to exist.
Something.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's always a nice surprise to hear new stories that are old. I don't know if that makes sense, but um, it's cool that there's a lot of intricacies within these stories, and then you realize, in retrospect, like, oh, that's why that was going down like that, and then
Fills in the
you put
dots.
these things together. Yep, fills in the dots, and you understand it better. That's what I've learned from doing this project.
Yep.
Has there ever been a situation where there's a story that's been told, but it seems to be just a little far-fetched, and you guys are like, man, come on, but then someone else shows up and is like, yo, this is the thing that happened, boom, 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 and it kind of validates that far-fetched story that
Oh, that's happened several times, and one incident in particular, it was so nuts. I made a couple phone calls to verify it. Like, I directly called. One person told us a story, so I called, and they said, "Oh, it was about this person." And I called for two reasons. I called that person and said, one, this shit's crazy. Is this true? And two, if it is true, I wanted to verify and make sure he was okay with us putting this in the film. I just wanted to make sure everything's even, because we're also not trying to, this isn't beef. We're not throwing everybody's dirty laundry and stuff out there. And he's like, you know what? Go ahead, because it's pretty hysterical. It's funny as hell. I'm not going to say what it is now, but yeah, that absolutely happened.
Right. Right. And I think that's an important point that you brought up just now, Risky, is today we can't do anything without seeing someone beefing with someone else. And I don't think that this project is that. We're not trying to air out people's dirty laundries. We're not trying to pick fights. We're not trying to do any of that. We're just trying to get a constant storyline, and everyone else is blindly validating everyone else's story.
Yeah. And the other thing too is, I also want to state that as well, is while we're not out here, like I said, we're not out here to tell anybody's bad side of the story, we're also telling the truth.
Right. So
we are taking things that are bad, that are part of the Chicago story. It's just sometimes people have personal stories, and it doesn't really affect the culture in a way, and it's not something that was an impactful cultural moment. And I'm not saying this is anybody in particular, I'll just use this as an example, but if someone was a certain, a rapper, a DJ, whoever, and they got arrested or had some other kind of things, it's like, we're not interested in that. That doesn't have anything to do, because they're like, oh, are we going to talk about this? And I'm like, no, we're not. That's not, it doesn't affect, unless it affected a series of events in the culture, and particularly just Chicago hip hop culture or the timeline, the storyline. No, it's like, yeah, that shit might be interesting to a handful of people, but that's people looking for drama just for entertainment.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I want everything, and again, as much as I want to make sure the truth is told as much as we can. And I say that because it's still always going to be objective, because it's people's stories. And one thing I will say is we're pulling recall out of a lot of people. So that's why we have to do a lot of verification, because you know how, Carlos, you were saying, did something sound far-fetched? We've had people tell stories, and you could tell they're not lying. They're not making it up. It's just 20 years ago. So they're trying to remember it a certain way. Mm-hmm. And then you had two other people tell the same story, and it's close to the same thing, but it's a little bit different. So we're going to kind of piece them together so everything kind of comes out to the best of our ability as being, what happened. But I mean, that's recall. That's not bullshit. That's just a matter of trying to remember something.
Yeah.
B can talk about that. B's always like, God damn, I know it happened, but I can't remember it.
Yeah, more of memory, but I know it happened, and I know who was there.
Yeah.
So I can vouch for the memory thing.
B did an interview with us, and then 20 minutes after, he was like, God damn it, I remember all this now. We got to read it. Yeah, but you know, like we're gonna tell the story to the best of our ability, and I want Chicago to look good, to have its best face forward. You know, I don't want to take advantage of juicy stuff for the sake of juice. It's, to me, it's just it doesn't make a difference. It's not important to me as long as you know, there's no beef stuff in this film really, other than, again, there is interesting things and crazy things that happen, that storylines that are really interesting, but they are connected and related to what happened in the city, and it affected the Chicago hip hop timeline. Example, you know, we're not really talking about a lot of beef stuff, and there really hasn't been really major beef that has affected things. But one thing that was really huge is the, you know, Naughty by Nature, Ill Town / Twista Ill State beef. That's something that directly affected the Chicago hip hop timeline, and in my opinion, is important because it brought together a lot of people. So it actually did some unification amongst a divided Chicago at the time. So that's very important that we talk about that. So that kind of thing.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So there.
And go.
I want to see what Carlos is drawing. I can just see the little corner.
Oh, are you drawing something, dude?
Oh. Yeah, but this is for my other show. For the record, I'm not going to put anybody out there, but Mr. Shadow Master, you better start tagging me, son.
That's right. I hear you. I hear you.
Money. I don't even need money off your T-shirts. I just need people to know where you got that drawing from. That's all. You're my boy, though. You're my boy.
So what else? Have
you seen that T-shirt though? That T-shirt is dope.
I did. Yeah.
It is.
That artwork's sick, right? Who did it?
How dare you? Ask Shadow. He'll tell you. He won't tag me in it, but he'll tell you.
So I know that we are all working on Midway, but it's other projects that we're working on too that's kind of closely related to, you know, Chicago hip hop and music and stuff like that, and graffiti art. Like, I just want to ask, like, Risky, like, what is he working on? B-Boy B, what are you working on? Ryan, what are you working on the sidelines?
All right, I'll go first. We just had a meeting yesterday. We're trying to put together, you know, getting all the, you know, all the details done for the writers' bench, which we do every year, the first Sunday in August.
Battle of the Eagle.
Battle for the Eagle. And, you know, we give away trophies to the B-Boys. I give away a trophy spray can that I make every year, and some chump change, you know, $200 from our sponsors for the graffiti contest. There's an all-style battle. This year, we're also introducing something for the adults. We're going to have, at the end of the night, we're going to have salsa. So we're going to have some, you know, something for the adults. I know that the adults come through every year. They bring their kids, you know, to B-Boy and be in this contest, and they love it. So we're trying to give back also to the adults, and that's the difference between doing events, you know, 20 years ago and doing events now. Is there's a lot of adults that bring their kids to.
Yeah, it's a super family style event now.
Yeah. So, you know, we're trying to give back to them because they spend their day there with their kids, and a lot of them, you know, we threw in some salsa last year and people loved it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we're gonna throw that into the mix this year.
Bring your dog. I was there with my dog last year.
Yeah, it's an outdoor event. It's free and it's a good time. You know, if it doesn't rain, even if it rains, B-Boys are out there in the rain, which is very weird, but they're out there. So rain or shine, we're out there every first Sunday. of August every year. So that's the big project we're working on. This weekend we have a fundraiser at Sub T on Saturday. So just little things like that. Always, we just had another contest at Project Logan, which is a wall, a permission graffiti wall that we've been running for 8 years, and we just had a contest there. We gave away $1,000. So there's all kinds of little side projects that are constantly on the map and on the calendar. And plus, I get hit up every day. The artist hits me up to see if they could paint on the wall, and when can they paint on the wall. So, a lot of stuff going on.
Awesome.
A lot of balls in the air, yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to that every year, to be honest with you. And I have to say, the Project Logan Wall hosted the Mike One mural from basically end of summer last year, end of fall, the beginning of winter, all the way through up until a couple weeks ago. So as a friend of Mike and as his DJ, I'm very grateful and thankful to Project Logan, you and everybody who runs it, Flash and everybody, for letting that stay up as long, because I know that's not something that's typical. So
genuinely, put that up.
Yeah, I second that.
Done by Worm, artwork done by Worm, and Joshua Portage did the design, I think.
Yeah, both them guys did just a phenomenal job.
Yeah, a lot of traffic in that area with Instagram and photography. A lot of photo tours come through there. I wish we could make a little bit of money off of that, but you know, it's our community and it's out there for free, and that's why we do it, because we don't necessarily need an institution to go see art. Just walk by in the street or off the train. You can see it from the train line, blue line, and it's for the public. It's free, and that's the way we've always treated students.
There was a professor that I had spoke to who was writing a little paper on graffiti culture, and he was speaking to a class in Greece, and he came to the Project Logan Wall, and he really was touched by the Mike One piece and did a bunch of research on Mike, and I talked to him and everything, and just kind of like the immortalizing someone in a community and letting people like mourn and see something, and kind of an awareness, kind of like a love letter to the community for someone. And he went and talked about that and the culture, what he knew of it, because he's a professor, and he's not into the culture. He's an admirer of it. He's not part of the culture, but his point of view and what he took away from it, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, definitely memorial walls have been a part of the culture.
I mean,
one of the very first pieces that we did as a crew, ABC, Artistic Bombing Crew, was a dedication wall to somebody who got murdered in the neighborhood. His name was Joey, and we did his name in grass letters with with the wings, and it was on a rooftop, and that's what made ABC Crew popular, because we would paint on rooftops right off the train line so you could see it. But it was a dedication wall.
Wow.
And I think that's been around forever and part of the culture.
Sure.
Yeah.
Memorial walls.
Now, you guys, who did the Frankie Knuckles? Who did that piece?
There was 5 or 6 artists that
there was 5, 6 on there. Okay.
Yeah, I worked on it. I like I said, horrible memory. You put me on the spot, but obviously me, Flash. There's a DJ, and it escapes my mind.
Because that was a good rooftop memorial.
Yeah, he was actually the one that came up with the idea. Let's do Frankie Knuckles.
Yeah, it was cool seeing it in that spot there on the location and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a really good, spot right off the train line on a rooftop. So. Let me see if I can find some names, but you guys keep chatting. I'll look for it.
Yeah.
What are you working on, Sean?
Me? So I have an art show August 11th at Roto Fuji Gallery.
Nice.
I've been painting more, and actually, that show I have with the guy, I guess you'll see him in Wicker Park. His name is they call him Buddy. He's a phenomenal artist. So, but I went to high school with him, and it's kind of cool to be sharing this art show at Roto Fuji with him. But I've also been working on like a mixtape series with this artist, Chris Murray. I actually met him at Roto Fuji, and he did this awesome show, and I stayed in touch with him. And he's doing this thing called Rap King. So if you go on like Instagram or any social media with the hashtag Rap Kings, he has been doing these limited edition prints of rap artists who he deemed like Rap King. So I think the first one we did, and I've been doing mixtapes to kind of counter with those. So I think the first print was Action Bronson. And what's crazy is I didn't know too much of anything about Action Bronson before I did this mixtape. I was not a fan before. I don't know if I'm as a fan now, but what I do know is that the songs that I picked were super fresh, and people who were not fans of Action Bronson before they heard my mix are like, I think I like your mix. Maybe I should give this dude a chance. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but the mix was fresh. Then we did MF Doom.
So basically, you're saying he's trash and you saved his career, is what you're telling.
Yes, that's
exactly. Vice was about to fire him.
That's right. So the next one was MF Doom. I did a mix for that. It's on my Mixcloud. And then the next one was Kendrick Lamar. And the last one, which I think is my best mix, and I got a lot of help from a lot of my friends, but this mix is pretty bananas. It was kind of like a tribute to Sean Price. So that's what I've been working on the side of this. And
what's that mixtape called? Peas Nuts.
What's crazy? It was really cool, like what he did, what Chris did. Chris, took Peanuts and then the characters like Snoopy and Charlie Brown and mixed it with, Sean Price. It was pretty sick. So
it was.
Yeah, man.
BVAX in the chat room says that that Bronson owes you a check.
Yeah. Bronson
Don't make his head any bigger than it already is.
Bronson owes hip hop a very big check. On the real. But yeah, that's what I'm working on.
Nice.
What about you there, Risky?
Well, obviously.
Hey, Risky, I'm going to interrupt you because you interrupt everybody else.
Oh, yeah,
But I got the names of the Frankie Knuckles, all the cats that worked on the Frankie Knuckles.
Fair enough.
But I don't want to get yelled at later. But it was Muggs, Skull, Static. Static did the face.
It has a static look to it. Yep.
Yeah, and Duz. And the guy who kind of brought all of us together was Slugs, DJ Slugs. So he was a big fan of Frankie Knuckles, and he asked us for the wall, and we all collaborated on that. On that. It's a giant wall, so we all collaborated on it.
That's amazing, awesome.
So those are all the people that were involved in that. It was a 3-day event. We went up there, buffed the wall one day, and then the next day we painted, and the day after that we with the details. So
It ran for a while too, didn't it?
yeah, it stayed up for pretty much almost a year, and people were coming from all over. Like they were coming from Japan and
Why did it
bothering
go away?
the guy who owned the building.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting bothered by people like from Germany, from everywhere. They wanted to take pictures at these walls, and sometimes he would let them up, sometimes he wouldn't. But what ended up happening is he had water damage on the wall, and he had to tuck point it. So in the efforts to fix the wall, he ruined the mural. So that's what happened.
You guys ever thought about redoing that mural?
We actually have thought about it, and we actually Slugs got some funding for it, but we're looking for a more permanent spot. That spot is not permanent because there's 1,000 graffiti artists wanting to paint on that wall. So, and we like to share our walls, but we're looking for a permanent space for that.
I hope it's similar, if not the same piece, because that piece was so great.
Yeah, it was very nice, simple. You could read it from the train as it goes by. It had his face and some DJ equipment and speakers. It spoke to the, both cultures, graph and house. And Chicago as well. So. All right, I'm done interrupting you.
That's fair. That's very fair. No, really quick. If people don't know or do know, I'm producing a record with my friend Shanna. She's currently, she's been there for a long time, but she's based out of Los Angeles, California. And then my friend Griffin, who plays guitar, and I produced the project. The name of the group is called She Killed in Ecstasy. We go by Sky, S-K-I-E, but She Killed in Ecstasy. And it's not hip hop, although it has a lot of hip hop influence. It's kind of an amalgamation of a lot of different things that influenced me as a DJ. Because while I love hip hop and I am a hip hop DJ at the same time, I consider myself a DJ and I play everything. And I love everything. I genuinely, sincerely love all different types of music. And this is kind of an amalgamation of all that's influenced me over the years. And I wanted to do something different. And we're there. I think when people hear it, it should be coming out. We're in the mixing stage now. And it should be coming out, hopefully. It's getting sent off to master. We're pressing vinyl. So realistically, another month or so, month and a half. But I think when people hear it, there's a few different sounds. We even have one song that's a way more kind of a rock song to it, but most of it's electronic based in the sense it's still kind of chill out and vibey. And I think the closest thing people will find to it is like a Massive Attack with a little bit more guitar work to it. But most people kind of right away go to Portishead Massive Attack with the vibe and the sound, and which is cool. I mean, that was kind of what I was aiming for anyway. So I'm happy that that's there. Yeah, it's She Killed in Ecstasy, and I believe I'm terrible at this. Right now,
I believe Sean is going to have to get his cape out to save someone else's career.
Yes. I'm always terrible at this because our main presence on Instagram, or is on Instagram right now, and it is She Killed, S-H-E Killed, K-I-L-L-E-D, N-I-N-X, the letter X, the letter T, the letter C, Ecstasy. Although our band spells it out normally for Instagram purposes, it's She Killed in letter X-T-C. And you can follow us on Instagram, and Facebook is the same thing too. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on, and we're getting close to it. We'll have a release party here in LA too.
That's kind of nice.
And go.
What'd you say? C-H-E?
What, Instagram?
Yeah.
Oh, it's She Killed, like she, female, S-H-E-K-I-L-L-E-D, INX letter XTC.
So everything's spelled right except ecstasy, which is XTC.
Yeah, for Instagram purposes, that's what we had to do. But like,
all one word.
He still can't find it.
Yeah, at Instagram at, that's how it works. Yeah.
Is that how it works?
That's how it works. Obviously it's not spelled out like that. We have a logo and it's not spelled out like that, but it's all normal.
You mean to tell me the guy who never checks his emails is telling me how to do what?
Never tell you how to do anything.
Shots. Midway beat.
I would never tell. I'd never
just push a T-Jew. Ooh.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, slow down, Drake. I like Drake, so suck it. Yeah, no, it's almost there. Ryan's done some cool. Ryan did the logo for us, some cool artwork and stuff.
Logo's bananas.
Yeah,
bananas.
You want to explain what the concept was behind the logo?
Well, the kind of concept of the band is like. It's very kind of almost noirish / like 60s, 70s. The name of the band comes from a film, an erotic thriller from the 60s called She Killed in Ecstasy, a Spanish film that is ridiculous. I love this film. And it's just all the music and stuff. It's kind of like based on like one song is about her being a female assassin. Like that's the kind of content. One of her songs is a cover of Concrete Blonde's Bloodletting, so it's a song about vampires. It's all kind of like dark. The tracks are all very cinematic based, so everything's kind of super cinematic, but still like 70s and 60s influenced. So it's like, yeah, ultimately it's like 60s and 70s film and sound meets like Massive Attack Portishead, and that's kind of where we're at with it. And the logo was influenced from a 60s horror movie poster, and it's kind of similar to almost like people are like,
yeah, I was gonna say that's the look and feel that we were going for. It was like an old like 60s Hammer.
Yeah, Hammer films, like the British films. Yeah, it's inspired by that. Some people are like, it's all Tarantino-ish a little bit. Well, Tarantino, it's the same influence. That's what Tarantino was going for with that. So, yeah. I didn't even think about it when we did it, and I'm like, oh yeah, it is. Somebody said that. I'm like, yeah, oh, cool. I'll take it too. I love Tarantino.
You guys got to go out and follow these guys on Instagram. Whew, I need a cigarette.
You need a cigarette?
Ooh.
Oh
this
yeah.
Instagram is no joke.
Oh, our Instagram? Yeah. That's Shanna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
She killed in XTC.
I like how you both show cleavage.
Hey, wait, where's my cleavage? Yeah, like you go on there and there's like clips from like, pictures from like women in horror and thrillers that influenced us for this film. So, also women in music, Lauryn Hill and Tribe Called Quest. Obviously they're not women, but they've influenced. Like one track is almost a 90s R&B vibe to it. It's the lightest and most different track on there from everything else, but I really wanted to have that on there. But then we got like Bjork and like Susie and the Banshees and fucking Fleetwood Mac and Depeche Mode and Heart and stuff like that. Great rock vocals from women. Obviously Beth Gibbons and Sia and people like that as well.
Cool.
Yes, it is. It's very cool.
It is. I've heard a lot of it. Can't wait to hear the final version. So, way to go.
I've been watching Risky as he's like they're doing their mixing and stuff like that. And so it's a lot of fun to watch the process happening, and I'm excited to hear what you guys are going to come out with.
And I will say this, I have to give Ray Nima credit, a lot of credit. I did produce the record and wrote a lot of it with the help from Shanna, and she wrote a lot of the lyrics. I wrote pretty much all the music, and well, Griffin wrote a lot of the guitar parts too. But we collaborated pretty solid on majority of the concepts I put together. But that being said, recording it is such a different animal, and Ray has helped out so much. Like, I'm definitely giving production credits to him on this because, man, I've always known that as producing a record, a producer is really only as good as his engineer, because a producer can make a dope track, but if it's not recorded properly, it doesn't mean shit. You've just destroyed your track with some bozo engineer. So Ray, I give all the credit in the world to helping me really, and I've learned so much from him. And you know, I've done hip hop for so long that it's a whole different animal because we're recording guitars, live bass. There's no samples on this project at all, so it's all everything's instruments played by violins. So recording everything has been a learning process. So yeah, an expensive one, but yeah. Yeah, horns. We got horns on one track and violins on stuff and piano. And I've had a lot of cool people come and collaborate with us. A lot of amazing musicians, a few different bass players, one celebrity.
I will say that when you first started on it, I had the opportunity of hearing the tracks when you first started on it.
Yeah, the demos of everything, yeah. Yeah,
and then to hear it now, it's totally it totally seems like a different project. Like you can hear the build up, and it sounds, to me, it definitely sounds way better than it did just coming out of your room, out of the machine versus now through the stuff that Ray Nima has done and the people that you've brung on. I mean, it sounds.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. Like when I made the tracks, and they're the basis, but I'm like, they're cool, but I have a vision, and I knew like, okay, so I need to pull in this person, and like the violins, like, so I made a track, and then I would play the violins and write the violin part on the track, but I would play them on the keys because I don't play violin, but I can come up with the melody and write the part, and then put violins in it from the keyboard. Then I brought in, Heather Horton, who's this ridiculously amazing, talented violinist. She's in a group with her husband, Michael McDermott. He's a legendary Chicago rock star. And she came in and half hour just banged it out, plus gave me so much more to work with. Because then I'll have them do the parts that I wrote, and then I'll just have them do what they feel. And then sometimes we take stuff from that because they're going to do something even better that I wrote, Yeah, you've seen a lot of the buildup from the original demos to where we're at now.
That's exciting.
Yeah, without a doubt. Learning.
We are just past an hour. So I think we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this bad boy up. Let's do this. How about you, B-Boy B? We'll start with you. Make sure that you are unmuted and let us know where we can find you on social media.
It's BBoyB_ABC at Instagram. Or is it at BBoyB_ABC? I guess that's the Instagram tail. I'm on Facebook, but I'm never on Facebook, so don't look for me on Facebook.
And how about you, Sean?
on Instagram and Twitter under @DJ Sean Doe, DJSEANDOE.
Sounds like Sean Doe needs to get back to vacuuming.
You know what?
Hey, Risky, if people are trying to catch up to you on the social media,
on the interwebs, on them internets,
on the internets,
if you try to catch me on them internets, you can find me at DJ Risky Biz 1975. That's Instagram at DJ Risky Biz 1975, and then Twitter is at DJ Risky Biz. But don't bother Twitter because I'm never on Twitter. Twitter's whack. Actually, I got to change that lower thirds. We got to put the Instagram because that's where I'm always at. And anything I do, Facebook's kind of for me is over. So I just do everything on Instagram and have it go everywhere else.
I will go next because then that way we can have the director wrap it all up in a nice little bundle. You can find me coconutjustice.com, Coconut Justice everywhere else. If you're paying attention on Instagram, you will see my old man rants in cartoon form. Yeah. Life hacks. Those are
Good
fun.
advice there.
Everyone starts laughing, but I'm like, no, for real. These are the things that really piss me off. So yeah, so follow me there.
And your podcast as well.
Really good podcast.
Oh yeah. So if you don't know, I have a podcast called Sketch.Zone, and we talk to a lot of looks like BVAX loves Twitter. Yeah, well, about that.
Oh, BVAX, you would like Twitter.
So yeah, so Sketch.Zone, we've talked to people like Brother Man Comics. We've talked to a lot of folks like that. Illustrators, comic book artists, special effects people. And I'm pretty soon, I found this dude from Chicago who is, his artwork is fire. So if you guys get a chance, take a look at Scribbler and the number 80, 80, Scribbler 80. He's from Chicago. I'm gonna have him on the show pretty damn soon. And then what else? Actually this week, if you guys find yourself in LA, I'm gonna be down in LA this weekend because the show is actually one of the bigger sponsors of an animation expo that's out there, and we have a table and all that good stuff. So be on the lookout for that. That's gonna be bananas for us. So
hey, Carlos.
Yep.
Since BVAX is our loyal listener, let's tell everybody to go follow Brian Baxter on Twitter since it's his favorite at BVAX. Twitter at BVAX.
No.
And then tell Brian Baxter, you know, what's up, Vax? What's up with the Twitter?
It's all right. Some people take a little longer to get to the what's hot. I'm just playing. Me and BVAX, we go back and forth on Facebook every once in a while. So
BVAX is a very he is a very quick-witted individual, and he loves to throw himself in the mix. I will say, and he's quick, so he's really good. So be prepared when BVAX throws himself in your fucking cereal because he's ready to go at it.
He's so quick. He's still on Twitter. Attaboy.
Yeah. God bless VVAX though, because he came through and covered when me and Sean were doing another gig DJing at Emporium, our monthly at Emporium, MTV Generation. He covered for me over at Sweet Lounge, and he kicked ass. I just got nothing but rave reviews for him. So
all right, hang on, BVAX. We're gonna give you one chance to go through spell check and read through that last sentence. We're gonna give you one chance.
I didn't see it. What did he write? I didn't see it.
It says Risky. Felicia just said Risky loves to F you, don't he?
What?
So hey, we're not here to judge.
Somewhere.
We're not here to judge. We're, you know,
Shout out to Felicia.
whatever makes
Mrs. Baxter.
Whatever makes history.
Shout out to Mrs. Baxter. She is a sweetheart.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, there.
Yes, Baxter murdered Sweet Lounge. Be back. So, but whenever we're not there, I'm gonna bring Vax in again and go check Vax out because he's a killer on the tables.
Good job, Vax.
Woo woo. And then there's Ryan.
Oh yeah. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, 278 Media, the numbers 278 and Media, and of course Midway. Check us out, Midway Doc, across the board. I believe we are officially now Midway Doc on everything: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff, except
even
for
midwaydoc.com.
Yes, even midwaydoc.com. So check us out there. Yeah. And that's,
cool.
Yeah,
let's bring this smooth ride in for a nice landing.
Well, hey, we were bound to hit a little turbulence here because we hadn't done this in a little while. But I will say that we've got some cool guests that we're confirming for the next couple of weeks. We're gonna be back hitting it. You're gonna be seeing a lot more from Midway on social media. You're gonna be seeing a lot more of vignettes and everything else. We got a lot of stuff that we're working on, and it's gonna be coming out soon. So
have we done BVAX yet? I don't think so. Have we?
Interview?
Like, no, we've interviewed endangered species. BVAX is in the film.
Right.
But have we brought BVAX on Midway Radio?
No, we haven't.
I don't think so. I think it's time to bring that smart ass on Midway Radio. That'll be entertaining.
Guest. We're gonna let him make sure that spell check is turned on.
Hey, we should have Felicia on, his lovely wife.
Pause.
We'll have both of them on together.
Okay, well, we will work on that.
Because she's hip hop. She's hip hop as hell. I see her everywhere.
Yep. Cool. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll be back next week at 8 o'clock and be on the lookout for who our next guest is going to be. And yeah,
I like how B-Boy B's shirtless picture came up in the box.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything, but
you know I was.
Yeah. Cool. All right, everybody. Till next week. We will talk to you later.
Peace.
Later, y'all.